Guys, in today's video I will be talking about how to be your optimum self, or at least the best version of yourself. So I will be going over a few fundamental things that hopefully you're already doing. If not, I will still be going over them, because you will be surprised how many individuals don't do as much of it as they should be doing. So let's go into the fundamentals. First things first, are you getting enough sleep? Sleep is so underrated. I don't know, nowadays there's a trend going where people are meant to hustle and actually sacrifice their sleep for work. It doesn't make sense at all. You should be to get at least 6 to 8 hours of sleep, because you are the most productive after you get enough or ample amount of sleep. Sleep is the time where your body recovers, where your mind actually remembers things much more and be more efficient the following day. I don't know why would people would suggest this, to sacrifice sleep and get to few hours of sleep, because honestly I've been much more productive and efficient if I get enough sleep. So that's the first thing. Second thing is getting enough sunlight. Yeah, we as Indians don't get enough sunlight, and we are kind of afraid of getting tanned and get spending enough time in the sun. It's really odd, and to be honest, you should be spending at least 15 to 20 minutes of your day in the sunlight, getting enough vitamin D, getting enough sun on your skin. And the reason being is that your UV rays and the sunlight, when it hits your skin, it reacts with the cholesterol and it helps in synthesizing and absorbing calcium better. Moreover, that your hormone levels are increased and your natural testosterone also increases if you have enough vitamin D. And this should be especially done if you are not supplementing with vitamin D. If you are living in a place where you don't get enough sunlight, like for example London, where it's very cloudy, and over here in India also during the winter or monsoon season we don't get enough sunlight. So that time I would highly suggest you to get vitamin D supplementation through tablets or pills. That is something I would recommend. The third thing, everybody is talking about it, everybody should be doing it, is getting enough water. Aim to get at least 3 liters of water or more if you are an athlete. I tend to lose a lot of it through sweating, and also consider adding sodium or salt in your water at least one time a day, because we tend to reduce our sodium reserves when we are sweating. A lot of it goes through our sweat, so that is something you really need to consider. The next thing is diet. It's pretty much a no-brainer. If you are lacking in a few minerals, vitamins, proteins, you won't be functioning your best self. You'll be tired, you'll be groggy. That will also affect your emotional state. In the end, your decision making will be affected. So get your diet straight. Don't try not to binge eat on crappy foods. Get ample amounts of omega-3 through fish, through flax seeds if you're a vegetarian, and you can also get it through chia seeds. Omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acids should be kind of in proportion with each other, hopefully. And if you don't mind eating non-veg, consider adding more fish to your diet. It really helps. It has a high amount of omega-3 fatty acids, helps with proper brain functioning, helps with reducing bad cholesterol, and there are so many much more benefits of it. I can't even begin. If I begin, I won't be able to end. So there's so many. So the last part of the fundamental parts, at least, is exercise. This is also a no-brainer. Exercise helps you regulate your hormones, your endorphins, make you feel better, makes you remove all the toxins through sweat, and it, it helps you get more dopamine and makes you feel more productive. Try to exercise at least 1 hour a day. Early in the morning is best. If you want if you want good quality sleep, I would suggest exercising in the mornings. If you do it in the evenings, your sleep might get affected, but you might notice that your workouts are much more effective because you've already had a few meals in you, so you might have more energy levels. So try experimenting with that, do whatever helps you out. So these are the fundamental things. Next is something which you actually should consider, and I personally implemented it and it helped me so much. That is buying self-help books. Yeah, these self-help books are so underrated, and I will suggest a few in the description below, and they help you in understanding your emotional states better. It helps you understand why you feel a certain way. It helps you overcome addictions. Like, I'll tell you one thing. Sometimes if you want to improve upon yourself, adding things to your lifestyle is not the solution. Sometimes you might need to see or cut off a few things which you're doing in your life. Like, it could be things that affect you health wise, it could be the food that you eat, it could be your destructive habits or your addictions. So these things affect your life greatly and your emotional states, which in the end leads to making bad decisions in life. That's what I've considered. Sorry, I just realized I didn't put on my light. That should be better. Alright. So I was talking about self-help books. I will suggest a few. Definitely consider buying those. It will, even if you're not a depressed individual, it will help you change your perspective and help you introspect. Once you spend time with yourself, right? If you introspect, you get to know more about yourself, why you feel a certain way about a certain thing. You'll get to know what are your cravings, how to overcome that addiction. You'll get to know what is triggering that craving. Like, I'll tell you personally my story that a few years ago I was heavily addicted to smoking. Alright, and I used to dabble in a bit of other substances as well, but let's stick to smoking. And in India, it's really problematic to get over the addiction of smoking because it is so easily available. Literally, if you walk like 10 steps, there will be a small shop or a panwadi where you get cigarettes. So basically, it's within your sights. It's so easy to get it, and you don't think twice before, or you don't get as much time to have a bit of self-control and avoid it. We all know as a fact that it's bad. You're not supposed to be doing it, and I did to myself. So once I got to know about the self-help books, I got to know about the thought process or the psychology behind cravings and why I was having a tough time dealing with it or overcoming it, how to break it. I haven't got to know that. So I spent time with myself, had a head-on conversation with myself, and I had an honest conversation with myself. That's the most important part. For the first part, you need to accept how, okay, you have a problem, you have an addiction. You need to move on for it. So that's the acceptance part. So you accept that part, okay, you need help. There's something you need to overcome. then what do you do next? The next part is you need to consciously remind yourself the purpose of why are you leaving this, or why you're not supposed to be doing this. So at some point of time, this obviously won't work as soon as you think about it. You'll have constant conversations, and your thoughts might contradict each other, your thoughts and your actions specifically. Like in your mind you would be thinking, yeah, this is not what you're supposed to be doing, this is wrong, this is unhealthy, but still you'll have a habit of buying it. Like literally your hand moves or to buy, and your legs begin to walk towards a shop. Sounds weird, but it that's what a habit is. So your thoughts and your actions will begin to contradict each other, and at some point of time you'll get tired, you'll get mentally drained that your actions and your thoughts are contradicting each other. It eats up your willpower, you get drained, you get emotionally fatigued, you get tired, and then you decide this is not worth it. The This is not worth the mental fatigue. Smoking and all, it's not going to lead you anywhere. At some point of time you begin to let go of it, and once you reach that point you need to stick to it, man. Like that's the most difficult part. Relapsing is the worst shit ever. Once I let it go, right, if I left it for a single day, I decided that I'm not going for it. I won't be doing it again. That's the most difficult part. You will have those cravings again, and you'll begin to realize that those cravings are just small parts of your emotional states, that you're stressed out right now, so you're craving a cigarette. You begin to realize that. So how would you deal with those stresses? So I would suggest implementing newer or different healthier coping mechanisms or healthier habits that will help you deal with those stresses. If I think about it, the reason why I had those addictions was because I couldn't cope with my stress. I had a lot of stress dealing with my college life or the education, or could be anything for people. For some people it's like breakups or something. For me it wasn't that reason. For me it was dealing with my studies, and that really took a toll on me. The constant traveling, it was quite stressful for me because my college was quite far away, and yeah, it was bleeding into a lot of things in my life. So you need to consider the purpose, and then you need to find better habits to deal with those stresses. So purpose might be that those addictions might affect not only you but your relationships as well. So yeah, that's for people who used to drink. I used to drink as well, but I wasn't heavily addicted to liquor. But I got to know that it was affecting my relationships or my relationship with my friends. So at that point you need to realize, yeah, there is a purpose why you're leaving it. It's for the betterment of you and the betterment of your relationships and your future, basically. We're human beings, we need relationship with the others. That's part of being human. So the first thing is purpose, the second thing is implementing better habits. So this, to be honest, this is one of the reasons why I started this channel. I was coped up, I was stressed out, I was at home, didn't have much to do or go anywhere. So I started getting a lot into fitness. I became fit, I became healthier, I improved upon my diet, I did everything. So I made healthier habits, and then along the road I got to know a few tricks, tips and tricks and gained a lot more knowledge. And then I decided to make a channel out of it and help my friends or whoever watches. So that's why I created this channel. So other than some examples of healthier habits for coping up or dealing with stress, fitness, working out, or for some people it could be different. One more thing which I added personally was meditation. That really helped me. You might not realize how much your breathing plays a part in your anxiety or the way you're reacting. If you are going to deal with a stressful situation, or actually right now dealing with a stressful situation, you can change your breathing. You can do belly breathing. You can take few deep breaths and let out slowly. You might not realize that your diaphragm is actually connected to your adrenal glands, so that plays a part in your adrenaline rushing in, and it makes you more anxious. That's how your breathing affects your current emotional state. So if you are considering to go for a job interview, right before it you can do this. Take a few deep breaths and let it out. The one which I do meditation wise is called box breathing, and you're supposed to take a deep breath for 5 seconds, hold it in for 5 seconds, and then let it out for 6 seconds, then hold it for 6 seconds. That's quite helpful. I do it at least twice a day. And meditation is certainly something you need to make a habit of. It helps you dealing with difficult situations. It makes you calm and composed. Really great. And it also switches you into a relaxed mode. You're not into a flight or fight mode. That's really important if you're a if you're an individual who's stressed out or who's anxious in general. That is something which really helped me. Okay, what else? Lastly, could be the most important part also, is your relationship with others. You might not realize how much it affects a person's mental state and your mood if you are with the wrong person. If you are with the wrong person, that though your thoughts will be contaminated by negative things, and I don't know, you're constantly thinking about scenarios, and those stress you out and definitely drains you, really does. And it reduces your willpower to do more productive things. So that is something you need to be conscious about. And yeah, these are the few things I would highly suggest you to do if you want to be your best selves. I hope you got to learn something new, and watch out for the content you consume also. Like, try not to see or be in the vicinity of negative things, or like around the news too much, because if you think about it, you are what you are because of the dominant thoughts you permit in your mind. Whatever is consuming your day, whatever is dominant, is going to depict the way you think. Try to surround yourself with positive people, positive thoughts, motivated people, and those people who help you be your best version of yourself. I hope you got to learn something new. I'll see you in the next video. But before that, I would highly suggest you to subscribe, like, or share this content for the sake of the algorithm. And if you have any thoughts, comment down below, because I really like interacting with you guys and answering questions if you have any doubts. For the time being, I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.